to be back with you. It's just Scottie McClue. We're popping up with a second attempt at podcast 22 tonight. So we are a little bit of buffering, so we hopefully have sorted that out, and it's lovely to be back with you. Do let me know if you're watching right now, if that's better, and come on and say hi. So there you are, a couple of minutes between the shows, and but you'll see both number 22 up there with the best of them. Fantastic stuff. But do come and join me and let me know if everything is sorted out technically now. There we are. Roger says, Grady. Is that better, Grady? Everything much better now. There we are. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Give me the thumbs up when you're all back. There we are. Everybody's getting the message now. It'll take a little while, of course, because we had to just, you're sometimes better just to restart. I think that is the best bet. So there we are. So welcome back. Fairly clear, says Grady. Yep, it's Dinky-Doo, says Betty. Has that helped, Betty? Is it better than it was? So there we are, because we want to get a good signal out there to everybody. And welcome everybody back, of course. Time to give me the thumbs up. Make sure you give me the thumbs up. Fantastic. There we are. And did everybody get the message that we were just going to bail out and restart? I think that's always important, that everybody's singing from the same sheet, as we say. Picture quite good, quality quite good. Lovely to have you all time. I didn't want you seasick in Coatbrig because, the beach at Coatbrig is nice, but it's not sort of where you would want to lie and spend maybe a fortnight or something like that. That sort of idea, So I just thought I'd let you know what was what. And hopefully we'll be rejoined by Gordon and the gang as well. There we are. Lots and lots of likes, please. Lots of thumbs up. Fantastic. Is that much better, Tam? So there we go. First part was slowing down our connections, says Grady. Gordon Robertson smiling. He's back with us. We love that. Gordon, I'm sure you're often smiling. You sound like a cheery chap, as they say. Right, there you are. So we're back, and we'll have to see what's happened. So that's out. And whoops, hang on. I'll turn myself down. Excellent stuff. There we go. That's me turning myself down. Krusty Sock. Now, you've called yourself after me, so you'll have to go. So there we are. Excellent. So what we'll do is Doon the Swanee. He hasn't quite got it at all. There we are. He's gone. So we are testing. 1, 2, says Stuart. Yes, absolutely. Oh, it's started again, says Gordon. Good. Sorry, it's still bad, says Gordon. So there we are. Well, we'll have to press on just now, or maybe we'll have to abandon for the evening and pop back up tomorrow. We'll see how. Not running it doubly, Grady. So there you are. I'm just running the one. Unless we have to maybe reset the internet. I don't know what it is. Always 2 devices running. That's fine. But the other night we were running 3. And that wasn't so good, I have to tell you. Right. So now, I could switch minutes ago. I'm not sure which one I'm watching here. Why are you getting yourself back the space you couldn't stick down? Is that a possibility? So there we are. I don't really like to change the connection if it's to do with got memory-wise. We'll maybe clear the cache and come back. JJ, you're going to have to go with that. We don't want that kind of nonsense on here. So JJ, what I'll do, I'll just get JJ away here. Fantastic. He's not got it. Sorry, it's still bad. Well, maybe just abandon this, actually. Maybe just delete this one. Fairly clear. Is it clearer now? It's Dinky-Doo. So we are. He's not getting it at all. Right, how's that? Is that better? There we are. Let me know the state of the channel and what is what. Wonderful. Right, because otherwise we'll have several 22s. We'll have several 22s. Right, let me get back on here and see what is what. You do happy birthday, the Waverley's 73 today. Yes, you've not crashed in 5 seconds. Much better. Is that better, Tam? There are 44 at least. Sure, the 44. See it. I can see what you're seeing, which is pretty not good. So there we are. Wonderful stuff. But I don't think I can go on the other device and get the same thing. Oh, yes, that's not good at all, is it? That is not good. So there we are. My cache. That's everybody. Is everybody having, if you've the video saved, you can delete for space. It'll speed things up. You can download it again in an external hard drive afterwards. Well, we've got it on there, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem, Grady. Is it still freezing? Yes, it's not very good, actually. I don't want people bailing out just on a quality issue if it's something I can't do anything about. So there we are. Yes, we can have a look at that. That'd be fine. What do you think, guys? Is it good enough to continue? Do tell me, spill the beans, because you can see what's what. Tam, let me know what you're seeing. Don't be bailing out. We don't like people bailing on us, you know? We like peel the stick. It freezes. I don't bail. You don't bail, Grady. Absolutely. Shall I go and return and see if we can clear the cache? It's entirely up to yourselves. Do let me know what is what. But let's not have sunshine sailors on here. Come on now, Tam. I hadn't got you down as a sunshine sailor. It's going well now. Is it going well? Good man. Excellent stuff. Well, let me know how it goes. You know, we'll see what is what. Right, down to that. Yes, you should try that one. What was that, Grady? Reboot everything, says Gordon. Reboot everything, Gordon. So there you are. Should we reboot anymore? Advice. Best go and return, Scotty. Not good. Right, okay. Let's go, guys. We'll reboot everything. I'll see you later, Dinky-Doo. Clear the... Right. I'll try this and see if we can improve it this way. And if this doesn't work, so this is one more go. Yes, this is one more go, guys. See if this improves the quality. Let me know. If it doesn't, we will go. All clear, Scotty. No need to reboot. Yep, absolutely. Is that fine, everybody? Is that working now? There we are. Do tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10. Is that any better? Let me know what's what. Well, I think I know what's happening here as well, of course, which is always interesting. We've lost a bit of light. That's why. We've lost a wee bit of loud. Excellent. There we go. Right. Everything all right? Do we need to reboot or are we okay? Scotty, can you see my text? All clear, Scotty. Absolutely. Good stuff. Everybody happy with it now? Spread the word. Scotty's on, says Chris. Experimental design. Single elimination. Fantastic. Any better, everybody? Let me know what is what. John saying, can you see my text? Let's see, John. There we are. Everything going well? Everybody happy? It's better. Yep, solid state. Where's John's text? No, don't see your text, John, here. Don't see your message. So there we are. Yes, clear the cache. That seems better. Ostensibly good. Is that much better, Grady? We're better. There we are. Scotty, Eddie Doyle's told me he's been typing in. Can you see my text? Can't see your text, apart from the one I've read out, John. So there we are. So I don't know what Eddie's actually saying, but I can only give you the one I've read out. Okay, how's the quality looking, folks? Are we Dinky-Doo? Do let us know. Tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10. There we are, because as I say, not everybody would be able to go on to another place. Scotty, can you call me? It's to do with a radio job offer. Ah, right, Stephen. What radio job offer? I'm on the coffee tonight, Scotty says, watery leaf. That's the longest interval without a skip. Good, says Robert, it's fine. So can we press on? Excellent stuff. Right. I'll just have a quick comfort break. Whew, that was an anxious moment. You should try that as a host, guys. There we are. Fine. It took us a wee while to get going tonight. I told Ted, then Ted told me to tell 10. Fantastic stuff, Grady. We're back then. I think we're back, Tam. What do you think? Is that looking better? Is that more to your satisfaction, you know? There we are, because I like the best for my people. Touch wood, says Betty. There are, Betty. Touching wood. There we are, hand under the bonnet, touch wood. Fantastic. That's what we do. How's that looking, folks? Sorry, Scotty, when I asked you, can you see my text? I meant, can you see my text on screen? Yes, John, that's why I'm reading it out. So there we are, fantastic. What did you do to fix it? Tam, you're talking to a man that knows remarkable tricks. Fantastic. So there you go. Lots and lots of different things for you. And we can always manage a few tricks. People used to say to me when I worked with a lot of older guys who were very, very senior, and there was a young salesman came in and went, these guys, they might have turned a couple of tricks in their day, and I thought, he just doesn't get it. Fantastic. Grady says, ha ha ha. Some lovely birthday messages for the Waverley on various sites. You're at full speed now, Scotty. Tremendous, Ian. Thanks. Top of the dial, Scotty. Dinky-Doo. Excellent stuff. Nice and clear. Picture nice and clear. And is it as good as it was at the other place now, guys? Have we managed to sort that? There you are. But I will look at storage tomorrow and see what's what. Excellent stuff, because I want the best for my viewers. Fast Pat says, Thomas, what are you blaming me for? Oh, it was blaming you, Fast Pat. Welcome, Fast Pat, by the way. Lovely to have you with us. It was blaming you for the quality of the stream at the start. So I don't know, something had gone wrong technically, but apparently it's fixed now. And we are Dinky-Doo. Sorted, says Grady. So am I right in thinking that's only one that we've had tonight? We've got two streams running. Waterleaf says, I've never been in the Big Hoose, Scotty. Did you not tell me you were a gardener at the Big Hoose? And you used to bring the fresh veg in for dinner for the family. You need to clear all your movies off your hard drive, Scotty. Thomas Beaton, you mustn't judge everybody by your own standards. So there you are. Shocking stuff. There we go. Tut. Take that down. So there we are. But yes, we'll have a bit of a flush out tomorrow and all that kind of stuff, because obviously there's a lot of stuff gets there. Please touch on the Druidic traditions and why this information is buried. Well, Grady, I don't know about Druidic, but in Scotland, if you go to Argyll, then you will see there's old Celtic cup marks and where they used to crown the kings of Scotland, going back to 963, Danad Fort. Hello from Russia, says Good Channel. Good Channel's watching in Russia. Dinky-Doo, Good Channel. Lovely to have you with us in Russia. And I can say to you, Привет. And when you go tonight, I say to you, До свидания. Yes? How's life, says Xbox? Do you like breaded cucumber? No, but I'll tell you what I do like. I like breaded courgette. Very, very nice. So there we are. The breaded courgette is lovely. Try that one. How's life, says Xbox? Excellent, Xbox. Lovely to have you with us. Hello, Good Channel. Hope you're well. Good Channel is in Russia. So there are he joining us in Russia. Bye, says Good Channel. Bye, good. Right. Welcome. If you've just joined us, you're watching Scottie McClue, First Lord of the Internet, World's Top Broadcaster, World's Most Humble Man. In case anybody thinks we're blowing trumpets, we don't want that. We don't want somebody thinking we're getting big in the head, Right, more likes, please. Like. I need about 10 of these right now because we're late starting, remember. So we're going to have more likes. There we are. Bye. Do you like pigeons, says Xbox? Do you mean from a point of view of consumption or as pets or for racing? All that sort of stuff. They're lovely birds. I like the pigeons around, and we like the wood pigeons. Ooh, and we like the doves cooing. Very nice. So there we are. The doves for love. Do you still hear from the Scottish? What do we got here? Oh, I know what's happening. Right, guys. Does that look a lot better now? There we are. I've seen just what's happening there. Still hear from the Scottish Labour Party supporter who used to send in nonsense in your Facebook live show, Scotty. No, I haven't heard from the old soul. I hope he's all right. Or maybe he's just wandered into the political wilderness. There we are. I thought I was the most modest. I was going to get a shot with number one and everything. No, you're fine. As long as you pop in that, you're absolutely fine. What's your opinion on child slavery? Well, very interesting. I remember delivering a lecture, and there were a lot of young people. And I did say to them out of interest, if there was a factory near to your school and they offered you 2 hours between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock, would you take it? You know, if they were paying something. And the young people are going, yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like a job, because now you can't have a job. I mean, I was working at 12 and loving it. Just a wee Saturday job, 2.5 crowns. Fantastic. So there you are. That would be 25p. Hello, Gordon Robertson, Dinky-Doo. How's that looking? Is that to your satisfaction? Do let us know. You're not a sunshine sailor, Gordon, but Tam was saying he was getting a bit dizzy watching the stream. My granddad used to race pigeons, right, Tam? So he would have the pigeon loft. So they were very difficult to sell a racing pigeon because they keep coming back home. So the guy said, Scotty, Tom Bell's asking for you. Tell Tom I'm asking for him, top man, top broadcaster. So that's looking good now, says Gordon Robertson. Excellent, Gordon. I think I knew what it was. The other place came up and said the app is having trouble, close now. So I think we had another app running from our previous visit tonight, Gordon. Are you with me? So that's a shame. So we didn't actually have to bail out the first time at all. Euist, I think you're now spamming us, so we'll say goodbye to you. Say goodbye to Euist, everybody. Bye, Euist. So there we are. Euist gone. We don't want idiots spamming. Xbox is going as well. There we are. Xbox is gone. Anybody else for a lifetime ban? So there we are. That's a lot clearer, says Robert Stringer. Excellent. Anybody else for a lifetime ban? Magnus says wood pigeon. There we are. Oh, yes. Very tasty, the old wood pigeon. There we are. Very, very nice. If needs must, if you have a family to feed. Diashu, you're saying it as well. So we'll say cheerio to you. There we are. He's gone as well. Any more idiots needing to go? There we are. Scotty, the pigeons in Leith are awfully posh. Are they? The seagulls are. They fly upside down, don't they? Looks like some Bam Bams tonight. Gordon, they've gone. We dealt with the Bam Bams right away tonight. So there are no more Bam Bams. They will change their account and come on. I remember my first Saturday job. I was a lifeguard at the time. Tremendous. Were you a member of Her Majesty's Lifeguards? Were you mounted? So there we are. Wonderful stuff. Excellent capsule, says Fast Pat. What's the capsule? Jerry saying Tom Bell's on Central FM. Yes, of course. Wonderful. 30 years last week since I started Central FM. Well, Central Sound Radio was then. Fantastic. And I missed a message from the programmer to give them a call. And they would interview me on air. So I missed the message. When do you feel it'd be an appropriate time? Sent it on Messenger. You'd have thought somebody would have given them a number for me. Let's get rid of the nut job, says Jerry. Oh, they're going, Jerry. Don't worry about that. When do you feel would be an appropriate time for crowds to return to sporting events? No rush. Wouldn't rush it. The Scottish government's the most sensible I've ever seen, regardless of your politics. I'm not interested in politics. I'm just saying that they're absolutely spot on. They're doing the free school meals, so I think you'll find Westminster will have to run to catch up. Do, says Shelly B. Do, ban the BAM. Yeah, the BAM's gone. I meant to say lifeguard. At the time, capsule, or lifeguard. I thought you were one of Her Majesty's troops. I thought you were one of the lifeguards, that you see with the helmets riding. Fantastic. Wonderful stuff. Hello, Pat, says Shelley. There we are. Shelley's in Sheffield. Dinky-Doo, Shelley. Guys, more likes, please. Subscribe, everybody. Like. What the Bam Bams don't understand is this is not what they're used to. You go on to a site and you try and muck it up and ruin it for everybody, act up, try and be funny, try and be clever. This is somewhere where we only want people who are in harmony with us, who enjoy it, who like the banter. This is the go-to place during lockdown. There we are. Fantastic. That's what we like. So we need to tell the Bam Bams, we can either train the Bam Bams or just bin them off. So there we are. Hello, Pat. So Shelley. Dinky-Doo, Shelley. Lovely to have you with us and welcome. So what's been happening, guys? There was another app running in the background. The Celtic Harmony. Absolutely, Grady. That's what it's all about. So there we are. Wonderful. And what was the term I was looking for? Remember, I was looking for a term for you. Try to not try. I've told you before. Try to not try, and I've told you before. What do you mean by that, Gordon? Try to not try, and I've told you before. There was some old Scottish saying. Scotty, you were the innovator of online shows before they became fashionable during the lockdown. Chris Wilmot, I was doing an online show, about 12 years ago or something like that? We had Scottie McClue online from my own website. There we are, right round the world. Old Scots programme, Dr. Cameron. What's the name of the wee woman in the series? That was Janet. Janet was the housekeeper at Arden House in Tannoch Bray. And Janet was a lovely lady. I think she was an Irish lady. Barbara Mullen. Barbara Mullen, lovely, super actress. So there we are. I'll try and not try. I'm trying. This is a paradox, says Grady. It's try to not try. So try not to try. Should it not be try not to try? Need to have a comfort break, guys. Woo. Roasting in here in the tonight. Very warm. Fantastic. Another wee sip of the old aqua. What's your favourite movie, McClue? Well, Shelley B, we were just talking the other night. The one, Just Do It, was, actually, I think I can say it now. It was The Fourth Protocol. We love, what's going on? Hang on, this keeps going. We love this. Now, right. What's your favourite movie? Absolutely. Is everything all right technically, guys? I keep getting a wee warning popping up here. Open a window if it's warm, Scotty. No, you can't open a window in studios. You'd lose the quality. And so my favourite movie, very difficult to say. Did you enjoy the tripping of the colour on Saturday? Scotty from Windsor Castle. I know Windsor Castle very well indeed. I just have a photo of me at Windsor Castle here. I don't think I've got it beside me. But we love the tripping of the colour. Fantastic. Escort for the colour. Do you know that's been running since 1857, I think. And the ceremony of the keys at the Tower of London only has had one interruption. During an air raid at the Second World War, and they asked the king if they could not have the ceremony of the keys that night. They felt it was dangerous. He said, yes, and please don't punish the young soldiers. All right, so there we are. Fantastic, because they had to remember the line. And I used to close my Top 107 show with Scottie McClue's Ceremony of the Keys. Does anybody remember it? Pretty good. Stay on top of the whistle. It'll be all right. Maybe reinstall the app or consider more RAM. Scotty, Eddie Doyle said, sorry for saying stuff to do with football last night. Has he been banned? I don't know, John, if we eventually had to just scrap him because he was joining in with all that stuff. You see, we don't really allow hail, and we are the people and all that stuff. It's too divisive. We're all together on here. We don't go in for any of that nonsense. Pull that face again when asked to open the windows. 1657, that was the time. Open the window, pull the face. I'll tell you, Jerry, not a problem. Welcome if you've just joined us. You're watching Scottie McClue, the First Lord of the Internet. the world's top broadcaster and podcaster, and the world's most humble man. Can he get back, Scotty? He might have to make another account. I'll look him up and see if we can let him back on. But I know last night I just had to ban a whole raft of idiots because these people don't get it. They don't understand broadcast harmony. There we are. Jerry, don't mention his windows. His windows are a touchy subject. They are, because Gordon Robertson obviously has very dirty windows and embarrass him, so he thinks everyone else has dirty windows as well. And of course we don't. Thank you, Scotty. God bless you. Not at all, John Woods. Lovely to have you with us, Dinky-Doo. I was getting confused earlier. You see my text? I thought, I don't get texts on here. You know, it's not something we've got. Jerry Nichol, ha, ha, ha. There we are. Was that the face, Jerry? Did you like the face? That sort of idea. Open a windy. When would you open a windy in a radio studio? Huh? Oh, I ask you. Lots and lots of aqua tonight. Very nice to have you all with us, though. Absolutely fabulous. Did anybody manage to catch the pop-up earlier this evening when we popped up? Anybody manage to catch that, of course? That was rather a good one. Well, move the camera and show us your windows. That'll show everybody how clean they are. Gordon Robertson, you don't even know there's glass in them. They're that clean. I worry for the birds. Scotty, it was Eddie Doyle who sent you the video tutorials on internet radio, how to set it up. Yes, well, that's fine. Well, he must be able to get through then. So there we are, no problem at all. This show's fantastic. It's a bit of escapism from the misery of lockdown. We love being part of Scottish Club. Chris Wilmot, absolutely. I want this to become the go-to place. Obviously, we'll need to ensure the technical side's up to scratch. That's why it's been very helpful when those of you have tapped the dollar bill or sent a little bit of pennies into paypal.me/Scottie McClue. So there you are. So, Scotty, sent that on Facebook, not here. I saw it on Facebook. So there you are. Yes, and Us Pros, my studio, doesn't have windows. No, Jerry. No, you wouldn't have windows. My goodness me. Jerry, the windows are mocket. Gordon's telling us. See, I told you. Gordon, you should clean them. So there they are. So, mocket windows, Gordon Robertson. Every day, the neighbourhood will be talking about you. They'll be saying he doesn't do his step, you know. His windows are mocket. So there we are. Taking now my fiancée Jane, my fiancée, not fiancée, my fiancée lady, my fiancée Jane, down to our special spot to watch the sunset and toast our engagement fast, Pat. You're a romantic. Jane's a lucky girl and you're a very lucky man. So there we are. Grady says, what happens when this becomes a hub and we, the proletariat, become obsolete? Grady, you will never, ever be obsolete. This show is for the proletariat. That's what it's all about. We are members of the proletariat. This is the most inclusive club in the world. So there we are. Remember a guy telling me, he said, Scotty, I think I can get you into the golf club. And he named a very, very, very swish golf club. And he said, I'm working on it, you know, but I think they're quite keen to take you. I said, well, listen, don't put yourself out because I don't golf. Wonderful. Are window cleaners still operating in lockdown? I suppose I could use vinegar. Mine aren't very sparkly. I'll tell you what I use, Robert. I use a wee bit of newspaper after they've been washed and dried, just to finish them off. Very good. It would have been brilliant to have seen a lockdown episode of Still Game. See how the characters coped with the COVID virus. Get away from me! Away from me! No, they've shot the Klansman. What? Isa, you can't come near us. So there are, Scotty, I watched a game of darts from 1977. Hardly see the board for the smoke. I know what relief. That's what took. I hope you've given up smoking. Gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. John Thomas, they used to have that. I don't know if they can now. I think that's all had to stop. Still game was class. I don't know if I would call it class. No, Snow Game was fabulous. You know, it was a class drama, class comedy. It really was class drama, class comedy. Scotty, did you not introduce a darts championship on ITV? I did, Gordon Robertson. Very often, I would say, but I had to be prompted because I didn't know about darts. And recently, I was drawn into a darts game with a very experienced player who was trying to tell me about it, and I thrashed him, just purely by accident, I think. So there I did. I thrashed him at the game, I hasten to add. So there you are. I introduced the snooker to the whole country. Grady says, yes, I golf for a bit. There was a lot of that. Such a turn off. Everyone who golfs says it's the hardest game in the world, the hardest to play with a smile. I think it would spoil the walk for me having to stop. But, you know, it was maybe Queen of Scots was the first one with the golf, before it was officially started at Leith and then to St Andrews and things like that, because I've done a documentary on it, and a documentary about St Andrews, the home of golf. Wonderful stuff. And Mary Queen of Scots used to get the young army guys to carry the golf clubs for her, and they were cadets. And of course, there's a lot of French spoken at the Scottish court by Mary Queen of Scots and her court. So she would ask, could les cadets, could the cadets come and carry the golf club? And that's where you got caddy from. So they are the golf caddy. Isn't that interesting? Where's Kareem, says Jerry? I don't know. Scotty, did you like the comedy Chewing the Fat? I did. I liked all these things. I'd like to have been in some of these things. My friend's mum was called Isa, and we were in their pool team at the Clansman. I'm sure they were spying on us because it was so like what we were all like, says Catherine. Absolutely. Love Snow Games, watching the part in the Skywin where Kaiser goes over the roof at the end. I know, it's quite, very funny. Very cool. St Andrews is a hell of a course. Grady, you've played it, have you? Yes, indeed. So there we are. I met a very nice gentleman. I was advising them in media, and he'd been the captain of the Royal and Ancient. There we are. A lovely big portrait of him in a red-tailed coat. Would that be right? Very interesting, says Grady. So there you are. Yes, the caddies. And another nice one for you about Mary Queen of Scots. When she wasn't well, they would get oranges and boil up vitamin C for her. And they would shout, Mama's my lad, Mama's my lad. The lady is unwell. And, of course, that was marmalade. Marmalade. That's how you got that one. So here's another one for you. Guys, can I have 10 likes? Please do it. Please don't sit and go, how you go. Give me 10 of the thumbs up, because we got rid of the idiots, so it shouldn't be a problem. Kareem's joined us. Hello, Scott. How are you? Sorry I'm late tonight. I was shopping. Kareem, you've missed the fireworks. We've got rid of a whole raft of idiots. And rid of a whole raft of idiots. More likes, please, guys. Come on, get on with it. So there we are. Right. This has stopped. I'm supposed to be closing an app here. So I've got another app running. I wonder if I do that, do I see another app? Can I close another app without losing all of you? Better not risk it. Hello, Gordon. Hi, Kareem. And we had a false start. We had to start again because of the quality of the stream. So you've missed lots of things. More likes, please, guys. I need about 10 of them. I don't know if there's 10 of you can give me a like. But whoever can, whoever's watching, who hasn't clicked like, please do so right now, or forever hold on to your peace. So there we are. Anybody watching who's not clicked like, can you please do it? So there we are. That would be fantastic. And I'll let you know as soon as it comes up. Do you know the stream's slightly delayed, though? So it takes a wee delay. So I don't know if you're all hearing that right now. But if you can, that would be fabulous. Thank you very much. So I found the other night there's a wee delay in the stream. Wow, Gordon, cool, says Catherine. Gordon is very cool. But his wind is on Mocket. Hi, Kareem. Hi, Kareem. Liked and shared as always, Scotty. Thank you, Kareem. Hello, Jerry. Hi, Kareem. Catherine, hello. Grady, played it in my mind. It's about a 4-year wait list to get tea time, TEE. So there we are. And I'm still slogging out school thing. Vacations are at a premium. So there we are. I tend to let the wife decide so long as I have BJJ. So what's BJJ? You have to tell us about that. This is Grady, who's watching in Canada and Nova Scotia. Kareem, Jerry, Chris, everybody, hope you and the dog are good, Scotty. Not heard how the dog is for a while. The dog is a lot better. Took me for a walk last night on his Todd. How often are you doing your live shows on YouTube, Scotty? Every night, Chris, 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock sharp. This is number 22. So there you go. We just settled for YouTube because I'd been on Facebook for about 4 years, and we think about 4 million saw us. Scotty, I hope not to be a pest. Eddie Dahl's on here right now. He's typing text in, but I can't see it. So I can't see it either, John. I'll let you know. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I can't suggest it enough, Grady. Well, as you know, I'm a black belt in karaoke, and I'm also very slick at origami. From UK to New Zealand, not too clever. So, Catherine, what's not too clever? Oh, yes, giving them coronavirus. Not too clever at all. Scotty, New Zealand now have cases of corona because of 2 London passengers. No place is safe. I know, Kareem, that's why, very important not to return to the schools, certainly till August at the earliest. Have you seen that our wonderful First Minister, regardless of your politics, has got the free school meals on the go as well over the summer? So there you are. So that's fabulous. And I hope Westminster will follow suit. I don't understand why England can't just follow the rest of the UK. You know, there seems to be a kind of a stubbornness about Westminster. Do you know what I mean? Origato, Scotty, no origamo. Origamo. Nice, Scotty, got to go, says Chris. Thanks for brilliant show. Chris Wilmot, take great care of yourself. And Dinky-Doo, top man. Westminster arse this time. Absolutely, yes. A little bit. I think it comes from the days when they wanted to show that they were the ones. You still get these sort of what we call little Englanders, you know, as the southern ones that think that they're still up there, you know. My grandmother's maiden name was Woods. John, it's also my middle name. Good, Catherine. Very nice. We like that. A bit of social history. I love social history. History about the people. There we are. Fantastic. Right. Comfort break. Woo! Roasting, I think I got a bit of a shock tonight with the technical challenges, you know. Is everything all right now? Is everything streaming fine, guys? They rejected the request and had to reverse today due to public outcry and pressure. Well, the young footballer leading the campaign did an excellent job. I was very impressed with him. Jenny Nichols says, talking windies. I threw my missus out the window last night. I ran down the stairs and put a chamois in her hand. Old joke, old music hall joke, very good. I've pushed Donald out the window, run down, put a chamois in his hand. Scotty Boris has refused to do the free school meals during the summer holidays. Is he still refusing, Kareem, or will that change? Anyway, as far as I know, the Scottish government's doing them, so the Scottish children should be getting them. So I really think the rest of the country should think about falling into line with the rest of the UK. Kareem, I think they've just agreed to the free meals, says Gordon, going to give vouchers, the way in supermarket vouchers. This goes back to Scottie McClue 28 years ago. I was suggesting food vouchers. You know, I've actually been there and done it. It's incredible. A lot of pro-Scot indie people I know are anti-English. There we are. What do I do about this? Right, see if I can do it. Fantastic. Okay, sorry about that, guys. A lot of pro-Scot indie people I know aren't anti-English or anti-UK. They're just anti-Westminster, says Robert. Well, that's everybody. I mean, I'm not anti any of our fellow people in the 4 countries of the UK. But Westminster need to not drop the superiority stuff, that sort of stuff. They need to put all that nonsense aside, and stop saying, well, we rule the world, It's all that. It's a different country. I mean, coming out of Europe, sheer madness. We had, along with our dear friends and allies, Germany, control of 30% of a total market of 28 countries and 510 million people. And we've given that up on the whim of a few hooray Henrys and a few xenophobes, a few Afghanets, and all that, and on an opinion poll that didn't need to be actioned at all. Should never have been raised in the first place, a party political stunt gone wrong. And that's taking us out of Europe, robbing almost 70 million people of their European citizenship at the stroke of a pen. So there's talk of extension, so hopefully we'll extend for another 50 years. Dinky-Doo, Scotty, says the wonderful Glenn Peacock. Dinky-Doo, Glenn. Lovely to have you with us. I think it's sad that families are still struggling so much. The kids' only meal comes from school. Catherine Raven, school is the safe place. It's the go-to place for so many of our young people. But, at the moment, life is more important. My grandfather's name on my mother's side was Walsh. My father's side, Sears. With all the madness in North America, it's nice to feel that heptatonic scale, not ringing dissonance 24/7. We love it. Quality stuff on there. That's the worst move ever made. You're absolutely right, Catherine. Just madness. And it never needed to be raised at all. I still get the wee book that tells us the government advises you to stay in Europe. And I was all for coming out because I was naive enough to think the NHS were going to get 350 million quid extra a week. Wonder when that's going to start. Scotty, can we talk about benefits? Should vouchers for food, heating, etc. be given instead of money? A lot of people are not good with finance and addictions. Your thoughts, please. Well, we could say to them, you can apply for advocacy or something. I'm just using a term here, Kareem. This is McClue's brain just kicking in answer to your stuff. Nothing is thought out here. But we could ask them to apply for advocacy. And I've just put a name on it, a label on it, and say that will mean that someone else will ensure that your debt and your essentials are supplied. And it needs somebody like yourself, Kareem, or like Scottie McClue, or whatever, like a lot of the people watching here, to say, I will take this over for these people. So you've got a list of people. And you then say, I'm in debt for this, I'm in debt. And they phone up and have a chat to the creditor and say, look, sober up, chum, you'll not be getting that because X, Y, Z, different day. We've got the COVID virus. We've got Brexit in the background, heading for economic annihilation, all that, all these things. So you have all that, and then you ensure that the food arrives. And you say, no, mum's a drug addict, dad's alcoholic, so they cannot have this money. This money must go to the child's food. All right? So there you are. And you could even explain to the child or to a guardian, grandmother, auntie, how things are going to work, but you don't let any cash out to the family. So there you are. That's the problem. Do you know much of the something Hector? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about there at all, Grady. The ship Hector. Yes, what about the ship Hector? Dinky-Doo to all, liked, Shelley B. down in Sheffield. We thank you for that. Fantastic. And a very big Dinky-Doo to you. Is the stream all right technically, guys? Lovely to have you with us. I hope things are looking good. Excellent. Dinky-Doo to everybody. Like. More likes if you can, guys. Has everybody subscribed? We need subscribers, and we need to be good technically. It's a bit of a rush tonight technically. How much had we done on the other one? Scotty, very interesting concept. Do you like that, Kareem? So no cash is changing hands when you've got challenged people in the household and you know that the child is eating. You say, what about we McQuackle? And they say, oh, yes, no, he's had his food today. Yes, and he had lunch. It was only burger and chips and some soup, but he said that was all he wanted. And there's a better colour in his face and what have you. And, we've got social services are looking into things. So that sort of idea is the ship that many of the ancestors from Scotland came to Nova Scotia on. I was wondering if you would know of the conditions of why they would leave Scotland in the times of the 18th century. Yes, Grady, that's very simple. I can tell you exactly. These were called the Highland Clearances. There was famine in Scotland in the 1700s, and that's why you had big problems. And then there was famine later. Also, the Westminster government treated the Scots very, very badly after Culloden when they tried to get the young pretender onto the throne. So it was very much the South saying that they didn't want to go on with the Scottish monarchy because Scotland was running the monarchy. And that was that. They were all related. Jenny Nichols says, I'm off out with Mr. Wee Jack. I'll be back shortly. Good, Jerry. Excellent stuff. So there we are. So what happened was the rich landowners said there's more money to be made out of the land by breeding sheep than having these crofters. What do we do with the crofters? You load them onto a ship and you send them away to Australia and Canada. Get rid of them. And they brought in the law to do that. Shocking behaviour. Talk about apologies for slavery. Scotland needs massive apologies for the Highland clearances because the Scots will survive. Scotty, we need to give people more money in their pockets to boost GDP out of this COVID recession. The more people spend, the more productivity goes up. Yes, but Robert, very important, don't be fooled that the recession has been caused by COVID. Because if you think about it, we've had 12 weeks of lockdown, right? There's Brexit as well. Okay, we're soon to get that. I lived across the road from a Culloden cairn, says Grady. Yes, absolutely, Grady. I mean, you can give your side of the history, but that's why they all arrived. Cape Breton, that's the fiddlers. It's just come back to me from the other nights. John Jones, late for me tonight at landscaping done to the driveway. Artificial grass put down. No more cutting. Dinky-Doo, Lord. John Jones, congratulations on your artificial grass. I said to my friend, did he have a garden? He said, the wife likes it. I would slab it. There's always money matters and citizens' advice. This is annoying me, this. There's always money matters and citizens' advice, but sometimes people are so grind down they don't have the presence of mind or feel brave enough to ask. Advocacy is the answer. Yes, somebody like a Scottie McClue or a Kareem and saying, I will take on a list of, say, a dozen young people and look after their interests, But it would need to be very trusted people. People like teachers or what have you that understand young people, and young people are quite at home working with them. So there you are. But that would be the kind of idea. Kareem Zachariah, I thank you for your £1. Very, very kind man. Kareem always pays his entrance fee. Now, guys, there is no entrance fee. Scottie McClue is free at the point of consumption and delivery. But Kareem is a very, very generous man. I thank you, Kareem. So there we are. Yes, absolutely. Ashley McIsaac, Natalie McMaster, Cape Breton, they're great. Check them out. Sleepy Maggie have done. Wonderful players. Is Natalie the one that she's accompanied? I think she's accompanied by her son Have I got the right one? Catherine Raven says, yes, absolutely, Catherine. That's what we want to be looking at. How long have we been on, guys? My goodness me. We've been on over an hour. So I must have done about 14 or 15 minutes of the first podcast tonight. Kareem, you're as sound as a pound. He is, Catherine. Lovely man. Very, very kind. Very, very generous. But it all helps. It goes in for little bits of advertising. We're saving up for equipment. If somebody's very wealthy, we've got GoFundMe.com. And we're trying to raise a couple of K, GoFundMe.com/Scottie-McClue. You just put up GoFundMe.com Scottie McClue and it'll come up. And we're about, I think we've raised about 763 quid of £2,000. So it's not bad. And PayPal.me/Scottie McClue, all one word. There we are. Brexit doesn't help, Scotty. We limit our market opportunities. We don't get good quality goods into the country. No, and you see, people of fairly limited knowledge, I think would be the most diplomatic way to put that, have heard about this World Trade Organization rules, WTO rules. Now, we've always had that through the EU. And we've had 50 years of peace and prosperity in Europe. Winston Churchill would spin in his grave with the Brexiteers. So there we are. His dearest wish was to have a United States of Europe with the UK at its heart and a single European army with one commander. So there we are. That was Churchill for you. I'm angry, Scotty. I bought my dad expensive wine for Father's Day. He's a snob with things like that. He said, I don't like it. I don't want it. So I took it back for a refund just now. Kareem, I don't think that was very nice of him. I know it's family, and I know blood's thicker than water and all that stuff, but I don't think that was very nice of him. So there you are. Because I'd had a friend who was a sommelier. Now, if you know about wine, Kareem, you'll know what a sommelier is. The expert in wine at a posh hotel or a club or something like that. And the sommelier was there. Now, I knew a guy, knew him very well. He was a television man. And he was once in one of the clubs. And he said, this wine is corked. And the waiter came over, sorry, what's the problem? The wine is corked, he said. So the waiter poured himself a little glass and sipped it. And he said, it tastes all right to me, sir. And he said, of course it tastes all right to you, but to anybody who knows anything about wine, it's corked. Well, that was the sommelier for you now. I think that's dreadful. I don't approve of anything like that. I had a big London club once. I used to stay at a residential club, and one of the rules was that you never, ever cheek up to the club staff or the club servants, as they were known. I don't believe in servants, of course. So there we are. Now, I can tell you a lovely story about that. So there are Grady's going, wine must breathe, you silly toad. So there we are. Yes, of course. So there we are. You should have told your dad that, Kareem. You say you didn't let it breathe. Anyway, here's a lovely sommelier gets his own back. Sommelier came to the table, and the guy said, this wine's corked. And he said, what's wrong with it, sir? He said, it tastes like vinegar. He said, I'll just get you something else, sir. And he came out with a little glass of light white. And he said, if you like to try that. And I think it was a Moselle that they'd had. He said, if you like to try that. And the guy went and he spat it. He went, what's that? And he said, now, that's vinegar. Not lovely. So there we are. Hello, I'm back from Dindins. J-Dog, lovely to have you back. We've had quite a night of it tonight, J-Dog. More likes, please, guys. I need another half dozen likes as quick as you like. See what I just did there. How amazing is that? Grady says, Jesus walks. Yes, he does. Jesus dwells among us in his risen power. Very, very interesting. I remember having a discussion about the crucifix with somebody. And I said, why do you sometimes have the crucifix with Christ on the cross and you have a plain cross as well? He said, well, you shouldn't really, the crucifix is prior to the resurrection. He said the plain cross is that Christ is no longer on the cross. He dwells among us in his risen power, and the cross is cleaned of sin. There we are. He has ascended into heaven and been with his Father and descended down to earth. No idiots tonight on yet. There's quite a few last night. J-Dog, are you joking, la? You went away for din-dins and we had every idiot under the sun. We had them trying to spam us with the word pigeon tonight. So we had to just bin the whole lot. Toot sweet, as the French say. I remember a guy phoning up in the days of the coal and Coleman. Some of you might remember the days of when you phoned the Coleman and ordered a ton of grade A, 12 and 6 a bag, 100 whip bag. And you would ring the Coleman. And this guy phoned from a posh hotel. And he thought he'd get one over the Coleman. He goes, "Hello, it's Frank at the Swish Club here." He said, "Oh, yes, sir." And he said, "I'd like to order some coal." He said, "And can you deliver it tout sweet, as the French say?" He said, "Certainly, monsieur. Would you like it a la carte or cul-de-sac?" Love it. So there you are. So, J-Dog, we have had every idiot under the sun on tonight in your absence. And we had to chase them. "I like that," says Grady. "Do you like that one, Grady? I'm giving you stuff. I don't know if you do after dinner speaking, Grady, but you can drop these McClue-isms in. Do you think it's possible, Scotty, to be a socialist and a capitalist at the same time? Yes, I think it is. I mean, Andrew Carnegie was a huge capitalist, and some would say his steel mills were sweatshop, and he was also a great socialist. He never lost. But, there's nothing non-socialist about a big house or a big car. I was just thinking today, I was down on my hands and knees, and I was hoovering under an old bookcase. I'd taken all the books out and moved the bookcase. Of course, there was dust there and all sorts of things, and I was just giving the place a good clean, a deep clean. Would you like that? And I thought to myself, no, there was a day when I fancied the big house. Not anymore, because I was finding brochures for these great big country houses that you can go and visit. I thought, no, I am not cleaning all that stuff. So it's very nice to sort of be contented from a material point of view and say, no, I don't think there's anything I need. Isn't that beautiful? And of course, I am one of the richest men in the world. I just don't have any money. So there we are. I like that, says Grady. Do you like that one, Grady? Dinky-Doo. Guys, more likes, please. Lovely to have you with us. And Dinky-Doo. Now, I haven't been able to share tonight, so the figures will be down. Can you all do a bit of sharing and let everybody know we're telling 10 to tell 10 to tell 10? And we'll see what is what on here. Now, let me know if there's any drop in quality at any point, guys. Very, very important. Socialized programs can exist sustainably within a capitalist market. Without the capitalism, socialism burns the resources without respecting the Pareto distribution and hence the future of a society. Well, Grady, very good point. Some very good points you've made there. Excellent. I do admire your intelligence. I bow to your intelligence. What you've got, the problem with socialism, very quickly, I'll give you an example. Scotland, well, I'll tell you about that in a minute, but an example of socialism would be you've got no money, and there's 100 of you with no money, and I've got 100 quid. And you all turn up and say, Scotty, any chance of any money, son? I say, yes. How many of you are there? There's 100 of us, right? I've only got 100 quid. I'll give you all a quid each, right? Or there's 99 of us because I'd like a quid myself. I'll give you all a quid each. And then we all go away and spend our pound. And then people come back and say, can we get some more money? And I say, no, I gave you money. I know, but we spent it. Well, there's nothing else. Well, that means we're going to starve. I know, but I tried to explain to you that that's socialism for you. You see? And communism and all these things, they've all been tried and they've failed. I mean, the West is in a panic about communism, but that's because of what happened after the First World War, the revolution, the Bolsheviks, the Bolshes. And they should never, ever have got rid of the Tsar or anything like that. But still to this day, in Russia, if you say to a young student or something, do you study the royal family? No. Why should we? Why would we? So they're quite defensive about that in most areas. But I think Scotland is a wonderful example to the world because Scotland had what was called the Enlightenment in the 1600s. And Scotland's always been a very enlightened country. And it's socialist with a small s, because we all began from fairly humble beginnings, if there's such a thing as that. But equality, you mustn't confuse communism and socialism with equality. That's the thing. Sir, please don't call people sir, but you are certainly senior class here. Not at all, Grady. So there we are. Many moons ago, your rent was paid by a rabbit or two. Well, I showed you the picture of my great-grandfather with the duck. Now, that was him out to get supper for his 12 or 13 children, how many of them there was. Now, what he used to do, and his sons, they would leave rabbits on widows' doorsteps in the middle of the night when they got back early in the morning. And the widow would open her door and there would be rabbits. And to the day, you get thank your mother for the rabbits. It's all that sort of stuff because they left them the rabbits and they didn't say who they were or anything like that. That's your best stuff. Somebody's giving you a donation. Who? We don't know. Wonderful stuff, wonderful stuff. And you hear somebody bad-mouthing somebody else and you think, most generous person in the world. Many moons ago, yes, your rent was paid by a rabbit too. Absolutely, you would do that. There's a lovely story up in Aberdeenshire. And touring magician was in the bar at the pub. And all the sort of gamekeepers and all the country folk were in. A good cairn of them in the pub. And the magician started. And then he says to this old boy, his acting does well, he says to this old gamekeeper, he goes, would it surprise you, sir, to know that if you were to put your hand in your pocket, you would find a live white rabbit? And he said, aye, it would surprise me. And he said, why would it surprise you, may I ask, sir? Because I've got 2 ferrets in there. Oh, my goodness. Humble beginnings are the foundation of many an entrepreneur. Well, Andrew Carnegie, the wee boy that was pulled up for going through the garden of the big house. And he went back, as one of the richest men in the world, and he bought the house, that sort of thing. So there we go. Lol, fun joke, absolutely, Grady. Yes, I'll see if we've got a clip for you, Kareem. Did you like last night? You sounded a bit gobsmacked was the only term I could think of for that. Kareem sounded a wee bit gobsmacked. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Right, what have I got? Let me know if there's any reduction in quality, guys, as we go. Fantastic. Till 10 to 10. I've done no shading tonight. So lots and lots of people do not know that we are on. What about that, I ask you? And remember, there's 2 broadcasts tonight. Now, what shall we have for tonight? Shall we have a fun one? So there we are, Scotty. Would you like to hear? Let's just see what we get here. Would you like to hear the interview? You may have heard it before, with Scottie McClue, just before the vote for Scottish independence. Have you heard that, Kareem? There you are. Or would you like to hear it? I ask you. That might be quite a nice one for tonight. So there we are. Shall we do that one? And then I'll want your opinions on what we think, because nothing is set in stone with Scottie McClue. You can always decide what is what. So here am I talking to a very famous broadcaster. Kareem, don't put too much stock in your father's opinion. Fathers aren't infallible, but we might grant them that as we have our own faults. Oh, Grady, what a top man you are. You're an absolute find for our podcast, you know, Grady. Lovely to have you with us. Kareem says, I can't really comment about last night. I would have been too young. I didn't know much about the political area, the landscape today as I do now, but I'm learning to grow. Well, that was me putting an alternative. So it wasn't unionism, it was independence, but with more of a conservative party than the present Nationalist Party. Thank you, Grady, says Kareem. Excellent stuff. Right, Kareem, are you ready for this? Let us get ourselves... Kareem, excellent stuff. Right, Kareem, are you ready for this? Let us get ourselves... Make sure everything's lined up. Good, good. Are we ready? Right, guys, this is Scottie McClue interviewed just a few days before Scotland went to the polls for independence. And I'm giving an opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You tell me what you think.
Real legend, this man. It's Scottie McClue. He joins me now from Scotland. Hi, Scottie.
Hi, Tom. Dinky-Doo. Fantastic to be on this programme.
Oh, it's fantastic to have you on, Scottie. I understand that you, along with the rest of the Scottish Hordes, want independence. Is that right?
Well, yes, as you know, I'm not actually a political animal, but I want what's best for everybody all round, and what in particular is best for Scotland. And this, John, is actually all about economics and control over running Scotland PLC. Forget all the bleeding hearts, forget 13, 14 and Bannockburn. That does not feed the children. And of course, we're very worried at the moment in Scotland about feeding the children. We've got food banks in Scotland. We've got children who are starving. We've got people, because of the benefit cuts coming from Ian Duncan Smith's policies, cannot actually feed themselves or their children. Now that, in the year 2014, is appalling.
And how will that change if you have independence then? Because you're not going to have as much money. We won't be subsidising you anymore.
Well, I think the thing is, actually, we've been subsidising the whole of the UK. I don't see it as you and I or them and us. There is only just us. And Scotland's been subsidising the UK to the tune of 40 billion quid per annum for the last goodness knows how long. I think that's why they're so about Scotland leaving the Union.
No, top economists say that's absolute poppycock. The Barnett formula is actually what we're paying to subsidise you.
No, I think the Barnett formula wasn't made up by Scots for Scots. I think that's the problem. And the responsibility for the current situation doesn't lie at the door of Alex Salmond or the Scottish Government. It lies fairly at the door of Westminster.
What do you make of the Three Stooges coming up to talk to you Scottish people today? Mr. Miliband, Mr. Clegg and Mr. Cameron. That shows they're concerned about your problems and your concerns, doesn't it?
Well, God bless you, but I mean, if they were actually concerned, why have they left it to the very last week when they realised that this is serious? I mean, Mr. Cameron was actually saying, no, that's for the Scottish people to decide. That's nothing to do with us.
So you think,
and they've left it far too late. I mean, coming out won't make any difference. They're responsible for this. This goes a way back, John. This is historic. And when I say historic, the problem with politicians, they so very rarely read their history books.
Why is it historic?
Well, it's historic. I mean, If you look at 1919, you've heard about the Red Riots in George Square, where they had to lock up the Scottish regiments rather than ask them to police their own people, because they were fairly sure they would just join them and there would be a revolution in Scotland. And that was when your Labour movement really took off with James Maxton, who's a great hero of Gordon Brown's. And Gordon Brown, in fact, has written a book on James Maxton and Jimmy Maxton, and all these famous names in the Scottish Labour movement that ended up with Ramsay MacDonald bringing the first Scottish, the first Labour government to the UK.
So Scotland's going to become a socialist utopia, is it, Scotty?
I don't necessarily think so. I mean, for instance, at the end of the Second World War, Churchill, according to all his PR and all the sort of surface evidence, had done so much for his country that, he'd become a hero. And what did the nation do? They flung him out. And you don't know how long Alex Salmond's actually got once power is seceded to Scotland.
Do you actually think that it will be a yes vote overwhelmingly?
I think it may well be, John. You see, one of the main problems here is the Better Together, or as they call them up here, the Bitter Together campaign has fallen apart. So they would actually have been better apart, to be quite honest. And what they've been doing is putting out misinformation and disinformation from the start. You see, there is effectively no Scottish media now, John. So Fubars will have a big foothold in Scotland.
What do you mean there's not Scottish media?
Well, we've got stuff that's... Do you remember when you had the Austin Mini and the Morris Mini, John?
Yeah, go on.
They were known as badge engineering. It became British Leyland. Well, what we've got here, most of the media up here is really just badge engineering of UK media, run by a lot of people who are not resident in the country very often. They're non-doms. And Scotland has seceded all its radio and what have you to other companies who are UK companies. So we used to have things like the Glasgow Citizen, and the Daily Record was all Scottish owned before it became part of the Mirror. Yeah. All that sort of thing. The Scottish television, of course, well, it's still independent, but ITV has changed. The BBC in Scotland, there is BBC Scotland, but of course it has its masters down at Broadcasting House.
So you don't even think you get a fair showing in the media in terms of the Scottish?
I don't think so, John. No, I don't think there has been a fair showing, and I think it's incredible. If this is a yes vote, and I'm going purely on economics, now I won't go into detail, John, but I've been told at a very, very, very high level that everything economically is dinky-doo and is all by negotiation. So all the scaremongering, I mean, we've had the governor of the Bank of England,
It's not scaremongering. You're not going to be able to have a currency union. You might be able to use the pound, but it's not going to be a union because the English are not going to allow you to do it. And although you're going to try and blackmail us and hold a gun to our head and say, OK, we won't pay the debt, what if we just stand up to that and say, OK, don't pay the debt, go and see if you can get anybody else to back you now then, or loan you the money that you'll need to pay for everything that you want in your socialist utopia, Scotty. I'm amazed that you want to live in such a socialist country.
Well, you're calling it socialist utopia, actually, John, but that's using socialism as a political term. If we use terms like democracy and equality, then it changes the game a bit.
You don't think you live in a democracy at the moment? You're part of the United Kingdom, one of the greatest democracies in the world, Scotty.
Yeah, but do you not think that an awful lot of the decisions for the United Kingdom are made in Europe?
Well, of course they are, but then you want to be part of Europe. Salmond actually wants part of the European Union. He hasn't got a chance in hell because there's no way 27 states are going to vote for it. But you want to leave this union to join a bigger union. You must need your head examined. I think you're absolutely lunatic.
No, not at all. I think the only danger has to be we have to be very careful in our negotiations that Europe, if we became part of Europe, doesn't then actually try and mug us for a few quid, the same as they've done with the UK at a rate of about 50 million quid a day.
What do you think about Her Majesty the Queen? I mean, can she be the Queen of Scots as well as the Queen of the United?
Well, she already is the Queen of Scots, so I mean, nothing actually needs to change. They might want to make her Queen Elizabeth I, but they were very, very concerned when the coronation happened. There was also a coronation, well, it wasn't a coronation, it was a service in St Giles Cathedral in Scotland, and there was a concern at that time that the nationalists may want to push for a Scottish coronation, but the Queen is fairly and squarely the monarch. There is no connection between the union of the parliaments and the union of the crowns. So I can quite understand why the Queen would not want to have to be part of all this argy-bargy. It really doesn't concern her.
So she'll still be able to go to Balmoral, will she?
Oh, of course, absolutely. There's no problem. I mean, Balmoral, for instance, belongs to the Queen.
What do you think about Miliband's idea? He was going to put guards on the border if Scotland gets independence.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's him obviously just talking a little bit of nonsense, trying to make light of a very serious situation that's going to be decided in a week's term. So, I mean, as, you know, for people coming up with locks for stable doors long after the horse has bolted, I just don't see the wisdom in that at all. But you see, the problem is the people that are coming up, Mr. Cameron, Mr. Clegg, Mr. Miliband, they're not trusted by the UK electorate.
So you think that's the fundamental problem? There's a massive disaffection between the Scottish voters or the Scottish population and Westminster. But that's mirrored in the rest of the UK. I can live in Coventry.
John, yeah, absolutely.
I think they all live in gilded balloon as well, my friend. But doesn't mean
I think, to be honest with you, you could probably have extended the Hadrian's Wall concept right down the south into Yorkshire and the Midlands.
And what will you miss if you're not part of the union, Scotty?
Well, I mean, I was actually a very staunch unionist up until the 1st of May 1997 when Mr. Blair took power, and I realised that was not only the end of the Labour movement, that was actually the end of the UK.
Oh, so Blair started it, didn't he?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. By doing things, saying I'm a friend of George Bush's, he's our great ally, so we will just do whatever he says. And by the way, as for Scotland, you can come and get into our illegal war as well.
And how much do you think this success is down to Alex Salmond? And will he become the main man of Scotland? Or do you think something else is going to happen? If you get independence, what's it, a week on Thursday, a week on Friday, the results are out. What do you think actually will happen then, Scotty?
I think that Alex Salmond will remain in power for a good considerable time because of all the UK politicians and all the Scottish politicians. Alex Salmond, he has been around a very long time. He's very highly respected. He is a first-class politician. He is highly intelligent. He's an excellent economist. And also, he has actually told the truth. He's been honest, fair, square with the people of the UK. And he has actually said to Mr. Cameron, come and discuss it with me by invitation. And Mr. Cameron has said, I'm not getting involved in all that nonsense, you know.
So the blame lies with Cameron and the other two top political parties.
This whole thing lies fairly and squarely at the doors of Westminster.
Do you think people would have voted for Devo Max if it was on the ballot paper? You're being offered it now, but do you think if you'd been offered it before, that would have won?
I think it's too little too late, to be quite honest,
Yeah, I know
John.
it is now, but what do you think? If it'd been on the ballot paper, would that have won?
No, I think there are too many cultural differences that have been underlined and have been flagged up over the years, and I think it's caused this fissure, if you like, this moving of the tectonic plates.
Okay. And Scottie McClue, are you back on the radio yet? When can we hear you? Because a lot of people used to love your shows.
Oh, yes. Well, there are big plans at the moment for the return of Scotty. And again, I think I've probably been held up from a political point of view and from a media point of view, that the media is not controlled in Scotland. And I would like to see a re-establishment of a good, strong Scottish media, because radio, John, and you should actually, if we get independence, I would suggest you just come up and join us here. You'll have a great time.
The last time I appeared on BBC Scotland, I stood in for somebody, did a show for a week, and I got so much racist torrents of abuse. It was unbelievable. They didn't want to hear my argument. They just wanted to call me a filthy English pig or something. So
right, well, I think
we'd have to get over that.
We'd
have to get over that.
No, and I think, absolutely. In fact, I would like to right now on national and international radio deeply apologise to you on behalf of the Scottish people for having even had to contend with that, even at the edges. And I know you've got a good thick skin, John, but you have got a very fine mind and you're a very articulate man, and we are just not having any human being treated like that ever again. So on behalf of everybody in Scotland, throughout the world, I sincerely apologise to John Gomes.
And I take that apology. Thank you very much. I'll tell you something, Scotty. I do agree with you about the media. You do need an independent Scottish media, just like we need local media all over the United Kingdom. I disagree with you about devolution, but I wish you all the best. Great talking to you. Thank you very much indeed. Scottie McClue.
There we go, guys. So I don't know what you thought of that. You can give us some views on it. Was it a good clip to play? Here we go here. Right, Sears already talking. Let's go back and see what you've got here for us. My goodness me, you guys have been busy during that. So what have we got here? Humble Beginnings. Yes, we got that one. Playing a clip tonight. Betty, briquettes were coal dust blocks pressed. They made a great heat and were cheaper than a bag of coal. Well, the briquettes, they had a wee bit of sort of cementy stuff in them. And of course, they let the air in. And they did a brilliant fire. Catherine, even there, Andrew Downey. With my dad's middle name, all these names tonight, reminding me long-lost family members. Sounds nice and clear, Scotty, and shared. I can't really comment about last night because I would have been too young to scream. We got that. Let's get comfortable. I appreciate this group, says Grady. Thank you for having me. Spoken in a fine tone. Many readers haven't fared reading voice that paints a character in black and grey. Yes, says Catherine. Sounds good, says Catherine. True, Scotty. I remember those talks. Grady says, excellent refutation. There we are. Yes, a rebuttal there. Propaganda. Yes, Scotty. A good, informative, educational call. The presenter's very wrong. We subsidise the UK 60 billion a year and we get back half. Think if we have all that money yearly, what we can do. Yes, I think we should be keeping our own cash just now. Robert says, correct, Kareem, we send 100 down to Westminster. They send us back £45. So where did the other 55 go? Then they call it our debt, Scotland's debt. Yes, I know. He's very rude, Scotty. Good call. You put him in his place about the Queen. Oh, absolutely, Catherine. Scotty, this alien media control is very present in Canada. Even though the people can't see the wizard behind the curtain, I'm concerned that as a country, young may lose our sense of traditional values. The 90s, says Grady. No, 2014, Grady. That was when we had a referendum for should Scotland be an independent country. And the Labour Party fought tooth and nail. You see, there's always been what I would call bad blood between the Labour Party and the Scottish National Party, because the Scottish National Party was started by the chairman of the Labour Party. You see, so it's sort of breakaway brethren. Yeah, I'd go with 2014. I heard Blair, lost touch with the coming context. Clearly not a pig with skin that thin. It's Grady. That was great. You embedded perfectly the deportations finally into a priority. A priori, says Grady. Thank you, Grady. Very much appreciated, because you're listening in Canada, so you're probably healthily distanced from the cut and thrust of what was going on at the time in Scotland. A quick comfort break, guys. Woo! Fantastic. So there we are. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Lovely to be with you. Thank you, Scotty. Really enjoyed the clip tonight. Did you like that one, Kareem? I know that it's a long listen sometimes, guys, but I think it's important that we've got 2 hours, so I might as well enjoy them. That makes sense, says Grady. Yes, absolutely. Kareem's smiling away tonight with that one. So there we go. So yes, we sort of said, well, you know, that's what's happening. And put a stop to any nonsense with regards to that. I think that's important. I'm going to try and do a bit of sharing, guys, because we've missed out on a lot of audience tonight because we didn't share. Off topic, Scotty, but wondering how the wee dog is. You can go off topic anytime you like on here, Catherine. The wee dog is absolutely incredible. He was on painkillers for a week to take down inflammation. Because remember, he's in his 14th year. Now, in himself, he is outstandingly well and happy. But I saw it the other day. I thought his back paw was giving because it had no strength in it, but it wasn't. The paw's fine. It's just the pain in his spine. Now that the pain's been controlled, because you know how stoic these wee dogs are. And I saw him actually sort of, sit down, a bit like us. If we pulled a muscle in our back saying, someone said, do you want to run with me to the, no, I can't. No, I've got a sore back or whatever happens. And I think it's just like that. And of course, you communicate with your wee dog, as you know, he and I are. Yeah. And he gives me a little kiss right there, right in the middle of the forehead, just a very gentle wee kiss. Thank you. I said, no, thank you. Magnus, no, Winnie Ewing was the MP for Hamilton. She was indeed. Gordon Robertson. Is that a black Labrador you've got, Scotty? Fantastic working dogs. Beautiful dog. I've ruined 2 beautiful gun dogs by kissing and cuddling them. There he is. See the picture behind me? Can you see? That's Lord Reith. That was the first boy. You can get white canned food from the vets if their back end goes. Very interesting, Catherine. Yes, absolutely. Just the age. He's so happy in himself, though. But I won't have him forever, obviously. But it's just so much. When I had to say goodbye to Reith, I had to go into work on the radio because I was just going, how are you doing? How's your day been? Have you had a good day? And I didn't want to upset the audience because they would have been very upset because they used to hear him shaking his medal. Maybe I can provide some reciprocal alleviation from the social pressures, says Grady. Now, how to do that? Ha-ha. Or if we always face it like a bull and the cape. The bull and the cape, bullfighting. Yes, that's gone. They break your heart, it's true. Yes, but having said that, would you rather not know them? You know, I mean, when people say they've lost their parents or something, I say, yeah, but what crackers they wear? What, you had a great time knowing them, you know? How to get hold of one of your badges, Scotty? Andrew, I'll make some arrangement to try and get you one. They're very rare now, I think. These are the wee chaps there. It's wonderful stuff, you know, and I'd be delighted if you had one. Missed a lot tonight, Scotty, been busy. Tam, no problem, you're a busy man. And Tam, we'd thoroughly appreciate your support and you joining in and getting the troops rallied and all that stuff. Fabulous. Don't you worry about that. I was just anxious. I didn't want you being a sunshine sailor earlier when we were losing the stream. Scotty, can you see IndyRef 2 in 2021? I don't think the SNP can say that again, that a victory, another mandate. I think what the last time was actually too close to call. And I know people say, no, we voted and Scotland decided. You notice the mainstream media, Scotland said no. You say, no, Scotland didn't say no. Just over 50% said no, right? It's a bit like we voted to leave the European Union, 70 million on a 1.2 million majority. A 1.2 million majority taking almost 70 million out of the EU. Does that sound like democracy? So there you are. And then people say, well, they should have got off their backside and voted. You say they can't. Some of them are too old, some are too young, some of them are infirm, all that sort of stuff. Ronnie says, Dinky-Doo. And you see, when we voted, Dinky-Doo, Ronnie Stevenson, you top man, when we voted to come out of the EU, they didn't need to act on that. I don't think we actually thought it would happen. It had the same legal weighting as, that's WEIGHTING, the same legal weighting as an opinion poll. So they didn't need to act on it at all. They could have said, right, we're just over the half have voted to leave Europe. A lot of them will be, be doing it because they're xenophobic or because they don't understand. But we have put it to the vote, and a lot of people have voted, but it's too close to call. So we'll leave it at that. But thanks very much for the information, guys. We'll certainly be bearing that in mind, because you see, if we said we were staying in Europe now, we could negotiate a belter of a deal. Would you be so kind as to tell me about the Roman expansion and Hadrian's Wall? I mean, how the Romans were held up and Scotland held up. Well, I can, yes. It's like losing one of your family. I've experienced losing 2 dogs. It's heartbreaking. Betty, it's absolutely heartbreaking. But I remember reading something ostensibly written by the dog. And it said, come with me always, be with me always, even at the most difficult time, because it will be less difficult if you are there. Stop. Is that not just beautiful? Would you be so kind to tell me about the Roman expansion? The Roman expansion in Scotland, but very briefly, Grady. You see, I think Pontius Pilate was actually a Scot, having the decision to put Christ to death. And again, they were putting it to so-called democracy, to mob rule. Crucify him, crucify him. I will give you the choice. We'll let go of one of the other thieves, or let this man go, this Jesus of Nazareth. Free Barabbas! Free Barabbas! So really, when you think about it, should Christ have been put to death at all? I think the problem was he was a very clever man, a teacher who was viewed as dangerous by the Romans because he had so much knowledge and information to impart to the people. And as it was explained to me, the Romans brooked no opposition. They were in power. And Judea was a very difficult posting for any governor because there was problems in Judea, in the province. Do you see what I mean? Very, very interesting. So the Roman expansion, so they came over to, they had Londinium and Ebor, York. So still to this day, Grady, the archbishops of the Church of England sign themselves with their ancient Latin name. So whatever the first name of the bishop is, say it was Donald, right? The Archbishop of Canterbury is the senior appointment. You have the Bishop of London as well. And the Bishop of London that we all knew so well was Richard Charteris. Beautiful voice. Used to hear on Remembrance Sunday. And Richard was the Bishop of London. But the Archbishop of Canterbury is the senior bishop. Canterbury was the start of the Pilgrim's Road, Canterbury Cathedral. And he would sign himself, say it was Donald, his name, he would sign himself Donald Cantaur. So the Latin Cantaur, Cantuar, right? Donald Cantuar. And York, the Archbishop of York, which is the second senior appointment, in the Church of England, and very often people translate from York to Canterbury. So you had Donald Coggan, who was the Archbishop of York, and then he became the Archbishop of Canterbury. And he would sign Donald Ebor, E-B-O-R, right, York. The Bishop of Carlisle would sign the one I was thinking of, Thomas Bloomer, say, Bishop Bloomer. He would sign Thomas Carliole. You see, and that was it. Durham, the Bishop of Durham, would sign John Dunelm, D-U-N-E-L-M. You see what I mean? So you had all that. So still the Romans had left Londinium, was London. And then they moved up to try and conquer Scotland. And they really, really struggled. They got into Glasgow, but they were getting fought by the Celts and the Scoti and that. So they put up the Antonine Wall across lowland central Scotland, going from Bearsden through to Falkirk and all that. The Antonine Wall via Lenzie and what have you. I think the Antonine Wall comes in at New Kilpatrick Church. I think the Antonine Wall's just at the back there at Bearsden. And they didn't go any further north because it was just too dangerous for them. You know, people would have come down going, get the Romans, way, get into them, set about them. So the rest of it. So they didn't really do well in Scotland. And of course, they just went home. They went home. Catherine, is it a cod liver Oilton, says Kareem. So there we are. Call you bud if you're needing a prayer, says Max, top man Max. Westminster, Scottish Labour, better together, stitch Scotland up. Older generations were scaremongered to vote no. People tried. You're absolutely right here, Tam. People voted no for the colours of a certain flag. Yes, there would be a bit of that. And I shall tell you, Thomas, you maybe know this, but divide and rule, Westminster's been very good at it. And I think in Scotland, if we just wise up to that, what they were doing was frightening people, saying they wouldn't get their pension if they voted to leave. So you're an old boy going, I wanted to vote for independence, but I worried about my pension. Now, pension had nothing to do with any of that. So there would have been no problem. So it was all the whoppers that were being told. And you can still see these speeches with a former prime minister and a former chancellor of the exchequer come up and just talk a lot of nonsense to frighten people. And they hoped that that would have done it, you know, and probably did do it. And then, of course, the media, remember, all the mainstream media were against it because they're based in the South. I told you about the badge engineering. But it goes back to William Pitt when he was Prime Minister in Britain in the late 1600s or whenever. And when they went to William Pitt and said to him, Prime Minister, Ireland are becoming a bit too powerful. They're kind of getting together across the classes and everything and using their superior intellect. He wouldn't come out with that, but, you know, all that. And they're going to become a force to be reckoned with. They're going to be a bit dangerous. And Pitt said, don't worry about Ireland. I shall use the Orange Lodge to divide and rule. And to this day, politically, they can use the Orange Lodge to divide and rule. So in other words, if you said, and this is why I'm always trying to make it clear, the Queen is 100% safe in an independent Scotland. The Crown is 100% safe. We do not want a republic. We want to have the Queen on the throne, and also on the throne of Scotland, curating and being custodian of the Scottish crown and the honours of Scotland. Now, if the independence seekers can come out with that, then you can say you can have your orange lodge, which stands for the crown and the Bible, and you can have your orange lodge under the St. Andrew's flag. Then you would see a difference. But the problem I have is when I put this to the nationalists, go, oh, get him, no, Queen, no. Now, these are the dafties who are shooting themselves in the foot for independence. They're going to lose it. Because also, the Queen is not going to give royal assent to a new Scotland bill if her future and the future of her family is not agreed and 100% guaranteed. You see? So there you go. So can you see the big thinking McClue has to do? There you go, Tam. I've not liked referendum climate over the last few years. That's populism at work. It divides Scot against Scot, English against English. Why are we disunited? Robert, for the reasons I've just said, Westminster divides and rules. So there you go. We are very united in Scotland at the moment. Westminster, so there we are, certain flags. There you go, Tam. My cats are virgins, says Jack. Thank you for that, Jack. Grady says, and he uses the name of our Lord. Plato and Socrates would be rolling over. Ah, yes. Well, anytime I've taught something, Grady, I've taught it in a Socratean style. Cod liver oil and the orange juice. Absolutely. So there, Max, you are now banned for life. Poor Max, so stupid. There we are. Bye, Max. Has everybody said goodbye to Max? A lifetime ban. And there's Luke as well. Lifetime ban. Any more dafties? Jack Anderson's going. Bye, Jack. There we are. Anybody else? Fantastic. Good. Gronio, Bonio, Scotty, used to listen to you on Scot FM in the 90s and just searched to see what you were doing. Amazing coincidence. You're live now. Great to hear you again, Scotty. Stay safe. Hamster 1980. Thank you. Dinky-Doo. Scotty, the Dafties are back. Not for long, Kareem. They've just gone. That's the stuff. That's what it's all about. My goodness me. We're out of time. This stuff made this dog who I had put a towel around its belly to go and do its business. It couldn't walk at all. It's not a miracle to see it started to walk. The owners were in tears of joy. Catherine, tell me more. Is this the food you were talking about? Can I have a shout out for Eck and Eileen and their dog Survivor? Their shed resembles Hurricane Katrina. Can you shout out for FNAF Gamer? So there we are. Scotty, everyone says the Romans didn't conquer Scotland. How do they explain the Antonine Wall or the forts at Cramond? Yeah, but they didn't conquer Scotland, Rab. That's the whole thing. Sorry, Robert. They didn't conquer Scotland. You've got lowland Scotland. They couldn't get any further north. They put the Antonine Wall over there to protect what they'd got. Big panic, because remember you had independent nations. You had Strathclyde. You had Dalriada, Argyll. Who you calling a dafty, you imagine? You imagine. Off you go. Right, there's somebody else who's been banned. He's gone. More idiots about still. Absolutely, Betty, but they're going. Hamster, I've got a hamster called Toya, says Gordon Robertson. You're some man, Gordon. My mum had a partner from, and he'll no doubt tell us more. Toya, I want to be free, remember. Those daft fellas are back. Don't worry, Jerry. You're back. That's what matters. You're back, the dog. Guys, can I have likes, please, and subscribes? I need likes and subscribes. Thank you to Kareem, who's just tapped the dollar bill and sent me pennies. I need 10 more likes before we finish. We're going to have to finish in a few minutes. There we are. We might have a short extension tonight since we had a problem earlier. The Picts, absolutely, the Picts and the Celts. There we are. And then, of course, you had the Vikings in the 1100s. Wow, says Catherine. One must move on, fellow. Absolutely, and they've moved on. Ha, says Catherine. Yes, all gone. The Dafties have gone. That's it for tonight, fella. Good night, Scotty. Good night, Jerry. Take great care of your dear self, and Dinky-Doo. Wonderful stuff. Do you think a separate Scotland and England will happen? What about Wales? Well, you see, the only one that's actually out of kilter is England. So should there be English independence, and we have the 4 countries of the UK, remember 3 of them voted to stay in Europe, so Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland go back into Europe and say to England, come and trade with the EU through us. We'll handle all your trade and you can be independent and the little Englanders can go on with all their old stuff. Because you see, the problem is most Southern English people are either French or German or Italian, and that's what they don't like. They say, I'm British. And you say, no. There's no such country as Britain. You came from Normandy. You came over at the Battle of Hastings in 1066, or you came with the Romans, you're Italian, or you're German, you're a Sax Coburg, you're an Anglo-Saxon. So there are your English and German, Anglo-Saxon. That's why people talk about Anglo-Saxons. Westminster scared of an independent Scotland. Yes, wheeling Mr. Brown out was the ultimate act of desperation. Bring him out of storage. Well, of course, they all come out. I mean, it's the same thing, but it was a bit desperate. There was a big panic, but I mean, it's interesting because the Scots have really embraced the Scottish government. They definitely have. And with good reason. Good night, Scotty. Have a good day. Dinky-Doo, everyone. Dinky-Doo, Kareem. Lovely to have you with us. And a very warm, who's giving me money here? Somebody's tapped the dollar bill. Alexandra has joined us. Dinky-Doo, Alexandra. Hi. So there we are. How integrated were the Vikings in Scotland and Ireland and even Britain? I have this paternal haplogroup that is 1 in 300,000 rarity, but my DNA says British-Irish. Well, everybody came from Ireland and originated in the African Rift Valley. But the Vikings, I am descended from the Vikings, from an old Scottish family that goes back to the 1100s. So I'm very much a Scot for 900 years, but I am still descended from the Vikings. Who's giving me money? What's going on here? Too much generosity. Better head, Scotty. Another good evening of chat. I'm off to do my deep clean. Robert Scrimger. A privilege and a pleasure having you on with us. Dinky-Doo. I say to you, we didn't get a chance to share tonight. I sound, says MD. Sing them the goodbye song, Scotty. Celtic or Rangers? Both. Love both Celtic and Rangers. Mon the Hoops, we are the people. And the Jaggy Bunnets, we are the Jaggy Bunnets. We are the Jambos. Jack, you're getting a lifetime ban. Say goodbye to Jack, everybody. He's getting a lifetime ban. Fantastic. There he goes. Bye, Jack. Grady, for goodness sake, $5 Canadian. Please read a bit longer. You want me to stay on for $5? The dedicated bouncer, Scotty, says the archive. I thank you. Thomas Peden, you are responsible for this big money. You and Grady in Canada. I suddenly saw it there. Yes, it looks like tins of lard. It's white stuff they feed the dog. I didn't pay attention to what it was called. I was only 16. But I was asked about it. If you have a dog with a problem, standing up. How very interesting. Going to overtime, says Magnus Hunter. We're into injury time. But everybody's well, thank God. Wales voted to leave the EU. Did they, Gordon? It's a close run thing, was it not? Yes, they did. Close run thing. Yes. So Scotland and Northern Ireland voted to remain in the EU. but I'm sure we could have a chat with whales because they're Celts. Jack Anderson, Dinky-Doo. So there we are. Thank you, thank you. Nice to see you inspired another man to clean, says Catherine Raven. Oh, we do deep cleans all the time here, Catherine. And we're doing social distancing. Very, very important. Men actually clean better than women when they do clean. They pull the furniture out. Well, I don't know. We had a lady used to come when I was young and shared a flat with a load of people. And Margaret used to come in. Margaret stood no nonsense. And she'd say, you boys will not do your corners. And she did the high dusting, organised us all. So I don't know. The women are very good at hard work, grafting, They're scrubbing in their hunkers and everything. Interesting history. I think my DNA sings something of the same song that a Norseman managed to produce sons who stayed in the British Isles for 700 years or so. Absolutely. We have a saying over here, Grady, that we're all Jock Tamson's bairns. And Jock Tamson, if I remember, was a Presbyterian minister. I think it was Jock Tamson. Can you sing the goodbye song for my Jane, please? She loves it. She likes to sing along. And on the organ. I know, but the problem is we're staying on for 5 minutes just until it's time to go. Thank you to everybody who's tapped the dollar bill tonight and sent pennies. Grady says, women just say that because they love watching us clean. It gets them right in the heart. Fergie time. Fantastic. So there we go. Wonderful, wonderful. Lovely, lovely to have you all with us, guys, and very, very much appreciated. So it has been a fabulous run out. Father, says Mike Cox. What are you telling us, Mike? What do you know that the rest of us don't know? So there you are. Yes, no, a very big thank you to everybody who's very generously, can I say, tapped the dollar bill at the top of the chat. Woo! Yes, naughty boys. Naughty boy. I'll find out who you are. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy indeed. What's that from? Anybody know? Jock Tamson, the minister of Duddingston Parish in Edinburgh. Now, Duddingston's interesting. Yes, very, very old. I can remember having a light refreshment in the Sheep's Head in Duddingston. And the Sheep's Head, lovely old inn, and a beautiful, beautiful pint as well it was, can I say. And I can remember being in there, and Bonnie Prince Charlie had stayed in the Sheep's Head in Duddingston. And the very famous picture, you'll know it, Gordon Robertson, with your culture. And you are that cultured. And you'll remember that the Reverend Robert Walker, the minister of the Canongate, skating on Duddingston Loch, the very, very famous picture of the skating minister. Duddingston Loch. Wish happy birthday to my friend Christopher, says MD. Tam says a shout out please for Jay Gilmer. And your man best pals for years. They went to a fish finger convention before lockdown in Limerick. Limerick, my goodness me, am I right in thinking? Oh no, that's Lime Kilns. Limerick. Where have we got Limerick now? Are we talking out in central Scotland there, Limerick? Any history on Livingston's young teams? Oh, my goodness. Yes, I'm sure we could do you a bit of history there. Livingston, the home of the roundabout. I'm wishing happy birthday to my friend Christopher, MD, of course. Absolutely no problem. Guys, can we do some sharing tonight? Has anybody done any sharing? Can I have another half dozen likes? And have we all subscribed? Very important. Yes, Limerick past Calder Crooks next to Slamanan. Do you know, you and I must be septic, Tam, because I was just about to say, is it out near Slamanan, Limerick? I remember it, a place called Limerick. Yes, because I met somebody that was there. I said, where's that chap from? He's from Limerick. So line rig. There are Mike Cox says, for Allah, we don't mind that, Mike Cox. That's no problem. Yes, absolutely. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. We welcome all comers on here. So there's we can never have racism in Scottie McClue because we are all of the one race, the human race. Is that not amazing? Ha-ha, says Grady. It's blink and you'll miss it type of village. Oh, absolutely. What my friends used to call, it's a kind of one-horse tune, Scotty. He was describing a lovely place in Stirling called Cowie. Grady says, don't attack beliefs, attack research. Absolutely. And remember, Grady, religion has never, ever, 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 ever caused a problem in the world at all. What does cause a problem is a lack of knowledge and understanding of religion. On race, the human race, it goes nugget, biscuit, nugget, and a biscuit. Scotty, can you listen to Nugget Biscuit? Yes, I'm quite sure I can. So there we are. Now, can we spread the word to the dafties that we don't put up with any nonsense on here? So if you're going to come on and be rude and be silly, you will just get a lifetime ban. Now, I know you'll probably start another account, but that's fine. If you're rude on that, you get a lifetime ban. If your name of your account is questionable or inappropriate, lifetime ban straight away. Many nationalities, one race, many cultures, one Scotland. We had a chip van in Plains when I was younger, driven by Arthur from Limerick, originally from Canada. Fantastic. I had a cousin who was a Scotsman. You'll love this one, Grady. And he was a blacksmith with the Mounties in the First World War. And I knew him when he was in his 90s. I used to go and pick him up. He's a lovely guy. And he used to say to me, I used to play football over there. And I said, all right, well, you still see a game going on. I'm talking back a bit. I'm talking 1906. He was giving us all that. I do love that, says Grady. You like all that, so there you go. MD Dinky-Doo, lovely to have you with us. Thank you very much. Guys, thank you again for tapping the dollar and putting some pennies in. That is so helpful. It really is very, very kind of you. Can you see the pennies going in? Can you actually see them on the chat? So there you are. I don't know what chat we've got up tonight, though. That's what I do not know. I don't know. Just do it. Remember that one? And that's from the fourth protocol. Fastback, don't worry. We're going to do the song. We've got that all worked out. Oh, we're just all right, Scotty. There's no need to talk back to me. There we are. Cheeking up to myself here. Yes. That's why I'm so good with cheeky people, because I'm very cheeky to myself. We will do that. We will do the goodbye song. We're just going to go on for a few minutes. Can you do a Twitch live stream and play Slender Man? MD, you can get Scottie McClue on Twitch, Scottie_McClue. You can get me on right across the internet. So many. Follow me on Twitter at Scottie McClue. Everybody who's got a Twitter account, get on and follow at Scottie McClue on Twitter. So there you are. And we've got Reddit. You'll get me Scottie_McClue. There is only one race. Absolutely, Mike. No problem at all. And he says the 100-meter race. Is that you when you have to dash, Mike? So there are wonderful stuff, isn't it? Top stuff, top quality. And right, I think it's just coming up to time to go on here. Guys, thank you for watching tonight. Sorry about the technical problem at the start, but that means we've got two broadcasts from tonight. It's been lovely, lovely being with you. An absolute privilege. Take care of your dear selves. Dash off that stuff, Grady. Absolutely. Take care of your dear selves. Stay fabulous. Stay safe. And love being you. It's a great thing to be. Now, tonight, as a special treat for Tam and for Fast Pat and for Jean, what we're going to do, I only seen one stream on Twitch. Check your Twitch settings. No, Catherine, I've only done a couple of things. I do need to check settings, but there's about 3 short videos just introducing myself. I think really YouTube is the way to go, if we're honest about it. And I shall be popping up in another place as well. But I'm going to accompany you. Here we go. So we'll sing the goodbye song, and then I'll play us out. Are we ready? Goodbye, everybody, goodbye. Take care, everybody, as you go. Goodbye, everybody, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, and a cheerio. And then I'll play us out. Are we ready? Did you like that? Dinky-Doo. If you liked it, tap the dollar bill and send us a quid. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your company tonight. It's been a brilliant, brilliant night. What a fabulous podcast. And we'll catch up tomorrow night at 8 o'clock sharp, British summer time. What time is that? In Canada. Night, says Magnus. Night, Magnus. Can you stream Facebook and Twitch simultaneously? Oh, you can stream. Yes, you can stream YouTube and Facebook simultaneously through a company. But I don't have the pennies for that. Ta-ta! Don't make me cry, says Mike. No, Mike, don't worry. Whoo! Take care of yourselves. Love you lots. Night, and Dinky-Doo. Ta-ra, lads.